Shizzywhiznut, only a dream, break from the scheme. Waking up at dawn, all my fears are gone. I'll stop today, never, never, not today. Compromise, rise above it all, not gonna fall. Step by step I go, faster than the flow. Broke through every chain, I will not be contained.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you. What was that, Zach? She's going to be here just as soon as he figures out where his fingers went when he turned on the table. Oh man, that brings back old memories. I worked for a company that built a PA equipment way back in the day. Like if there was a company or if there was a stage in Atlanta, anywhere in Atlanta, this guy probably built the PA equipment for it. He was building all kinds of just unique stuff, and I remember the last time that I saw this guy, he had taken off the very tip of his pinky, and if you just imagine the tip of your pinky going away, and then every single finger all the way down to his his index finger were taken off by a saw. Yeah. Well, that was and I hadn't seen him in a while, but this is what happens whenever you smoke weed and run a saw. But I mean, he was still out there just doing his thing. What a great guy. But it was crazy. It's like, yeah, don't do drugs, kids. It's bad for you. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You have my favorites. Hey, you have my favorites. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Early Tug deserter. Oh, don't be a deserter on Tug. Tug's awesome. And I will let you guys know I do have a letter tonight. There is a letter, and it's gonna be really interesting. So you definitely don't want to miss it. It is gonna be pretty damn brutal. And it has nothing to do with what we're watching it tonight. I needed a palate cleansing. And so I was like, just let's watch some crazy stuff on the YouTubes. Maybe just have a little bit of fun, hang out with the chat, just have a good time. Good to see you. Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad you found that, Star Z. I'm so glad you found it. That is a awesome show. Oh, I'm in the cell? I'm locked up. I will get out of here. I will get out of here. Let me out. Let me out. That's not gonna happen. It is good to see all of you fine folks tonight. We're gonna watch a little bit of old Squishy's Garden. Plus, there's something that I saw was breaking. Now, I have been in the background. I've been working on some letters to Laura Owens. And then I've got some more that are coming up for Gingras. But that's not what's going to be talked about tonight on this open letter. It is one that I've probably been holding on to, I don't know, for about a week because I was like, there's going to be a time to release this, and whenever it comes out, of course, it's going to probably set them off. What do I think about them having American boat shit show? I think I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so it doesn't matter to me whether we have a pope or a bishop or whatever. I don't know. I don't follow those kinds of things, but hey, if you've got an American pope, more congratulations to you, Jack Miles. I appreciate you. Miss PJ, look at you. Said, oh no, you are staying, Shizzy. On me for trying to leave. Right there, I got you. Got you. It's a nice green one there. Arg. Yes, we got you. We got you. Holding out on us? Oh yeah, I'm holding out on you guys because I do have some Laura Owens letters. I have been working on them, and I could read you part of it. I could read you part of it, and it is going to be pretty good. How about I do that? I read you a little bit of it. Now, I'm not gonna pull it up. I'm just gonna give you a good idea of what my letters look like are gonna look like to Laura Owens because they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I think that you might like it. Old Squishy's Garden? Yes, Old Squishy is always entertaining, always entertaining. So let me pull it up just so you can get a good idea of what and this is how it started. Now, this is an open letter to Laura Michelle Owens. It is, you weren't misunderstood, you weren't confused, and you sure as hell weren't a victim. You were and are a calculated, premeditated fraud. Let's break this down a little bit. Straight from the court's own record, according to the June 24th civil judgment in Eckford v. Owens, the Superior Court judge didn't waffle or hedge. He wrote that you presented well, it was a she. She wrote that you fabricated evidence, manufactured text messages, and fraudulent medical documents to support a knowingly false claim of pregnancy, all for the purpose of extracting emotional, reputational, financial leverage over Clayton Eckerd. Now that's where I started at, and then I got a little busy, so I wasn't able to finish it. Another liberal pope, another liberal crap show. That sucks. It sucks. Well, all you have to do is just tell them,
Squeeze my hog.
and they will. There you go. Good to see you, Kitty Kate. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and see, I don't know, I don't follow here's the thing. If I followed, then I wouldn't be any sort of leader now, would I? Hmm. This is my short bus. I've been driving it. No, I'm evangelical Christian, not Catholic. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, see, I'm not either. But I also see the good reasoning that somebody could be Christian. There's a good upside to that. Although I'm not. I just don't that's not where my beliefs lie. But we're not talking about my beliefs here. Here's the thing. If and this was told to me a long time ago by my minister of the church that I went to at the time. And I had a lot of questions and youth. What do you say? And he turned to me, he said, you're a rarity. And he said, you're someone that will question every single thing that is out there. You're going to question every part of the Bible, Torah, Quran, whatever it is, you're going to question it. You don't let anything lie still. He said, you need to find what keeps you and you need to find God your own way. That's how he explained in short terms. That's basically what he said. There was a lot more involved in that conversation, but he was basically saying, "Boy, you need to find some Jesus." That's what he was saying. But no, he told me. He said, whatever you do, find God, and I think I have. So I'm happy with where I am spiritually. So it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, whether you're Catholic, whether you're Protestant, whether you're Jewish, as long as you find your path to God, kudos to you. So that's the way I look at it. Christian, regardless of denomination, is follower of Christ. Yeah, and I'm not. So there you go. I'm a follower of God, but that's me. And I say kudos to anybody that is a Christian because it is a path to God. And hey, as long as it keeps you from hurting other people, then go for it. I'm happy. Exactly. I have my favorites. That's how I feel. No, and it's there's I someone told me oh God, it's probably been about 20 years ago. It's like with the way that you talk and the way that you believe, you could easily start a cult. I said, oh God, that's the last thing that I want to do. I do not want to start a cult. I do not want people following me like that. No, 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 no. I'm happy with my beliefs, and I'm happy with people having their beliefs. So we leave it at that whenever it comes down to it. If you go back and watch any of my what do you call it, the cult series that I watched, that I pulled up, I mean, I went everything I did out. I spoke on everything from John Todd to uh to the Church of the Subgenius, and just had a really good time. So you can always go back and watch those. Hey, good to see you, Levy. How you doing? Howdy, y'all. I followed the great spirit of the Native American beliefs. Awesome. Awesome. And sister wives. The dyslexic agnostic always pondered, was there really a dog? I had my fill of violence in my youth. Yes, 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 yes. Well, let's get to a little bit of old Squishy's garden whenever if and I'm not saying they have to, I'm just saying if Tug and Megan end up dropping their people over here, I will open it up and I will slap out that letter. And let's put it this way. It is a letter to vomit. It is a letter to vomit. So whenever I see the group come in and everybody's saying, my wife is Jewish, go figure. Squish, 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 squish. Hey, how you doing, Texas Jules? No, and it's glorious. I love old Squishy's garden. It's beautiful.
County Case 2022 CR 133, State of Kansas versus Gregory Brian Kelly. Greenwood County Attorney Jill Gillette appears for the state. Mr. Kelly does appear in person and pro se. Mr. Kelly, we are here in a pretrial conference. You had asked for or demanded a jury trial in count 1, possession of marijuana after prior
don't
conviction.
do that.
Count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia. Count 3, operating a motor vehicle without liability insurance.
Oh, geez.
And count 4, operating a motor vehicle with unlawful registration or expired tag. Are you still seeking a jury trial, sir? And you're muted. If you'd unmute, please.
I don't know. I'm boomering it. Boomer it.
Find that red icon with the microphone with the line through it and click on it. There
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can, sir. And are you still wishing a jury trial?
Yes, I am. Also,
well, I forgot. I forgot. I am so sorry about that. I totally forgot to get you a sticker, Jack. Oh, just damned me to hell. My Lord Almighty. Let's get you on there, right there. There we go. I got you. I got you. I got you covered, Jack. Got you. Sorry. Maybe I did, but I got you another one. It was totally worth it. It was totally worth it.
driving without insurance has been dropped. So it has been.
All right. So you were able to get proof of insurance to Miss Gillette,
Yes.
and Miss Gillette, that has been dismissed.
Judge, I don't have that.
Well, except for Just Dawn, she doesn't have a soul. No, I'm kidding. Just Dawn is the only, and I will tell you, Just Dawn has the only song in all of my lists of all of my songs that if you try to play it on YouTube will give you a copyright strike. I'll have to play it later. Just Dawn, so this ginger, your hair is fabulous, darling. Now make me a sandwich.
Journal entry in front of me, but I can look it up.
I see it. October 18th, journal entry of dismissal. Now that
Judge, if I might mention also, I have registered for the PACER, but I have not been accepted on a district level, and I'm having trouble getting my papers filed for this matter. And so I would like to express on the record that there are some due process violations. Some are substantial, some are harmless, but I believe that we might need a motions hearing to discuss some of that matters.
Very well. Now, you told me you'd applied for, did you say the PACER?
Yes, I have registered on PACER,
I'm
but
sorry, I'm not familiar with what that is. Are you saying PACER?
Okay. I've got to do it because Just Dawn is here. Okay. I have to do it. There's no way of getting around it. I have to do it because she's here. It's a minute and 50 seconds. Here you go.
Well, just dawn. She's a soulless gender, burning up the sky with fire, with a fiery hair and a vacant stare. She'll make you wonder why. She's got that rockabilly swing, cranking up the volume loud, and her red boots and leather jacket. She's a force to down. The stadium's on fire as she takes the stage tonight with a guitar in her hand. She's gonna set this place alight. Her voice echoes through the crowd like a siren in the night. Just Dawn's got that soul, black as coal, but her spirit's shining bright. Oh, Just Dawn, she's a soulless ginger, but she's got a fiery soul. She's gonna rock your world tonight. She's gonna take control with her wild red hair and her rockabilly flair. She's a sight to behold. The storm's gonna burn it down. Gonna rock this stadium, rock and roll.
See, I told you there was a song for Just Dawn. Nobody ever believes me whenever I say these kinds of things, but yes, there is one song for Just Dawn on there. It is called Redhead Redemption. Woo! Yeah. Gosney's disgust for soft sits is the funniest he's ever been. Yes. Oh, we've got one for Gaz tonight too. Oh yeah. I still like your Bill Boulder song. Oh yeah, I got so many of my songs out there that are crazy. Holy cow, Polly. 6 a.m. phone call that someone broke into one of our small houses in a town of 300, said someone was deleted by never expect a break-in and deletion. It's such a quaint town. It's going to happen everywhere. And this is one of those kinds of things where, I try to tell people, yeah, that you're not going to be safe anywhere that you go. It's going to happen somewhere, someone close to you. And it sucks. It sucks. I think that people should just be nice to each other. What's so hard about that? All right, let's get back to old Squishy's garden. Now we had our brief interlude. Your husband is a minister. Oh, that's awesome. I dated a few preacher's daughters. It was quite fun. Yeah. Well, no, the suggestion is don't break into my home. He's a minister from Chicago. Wow, Kitty K, that's awesome. I'll tell you a cool story. The church that I went to growing up, we had our choir teacher. The choir teacher, really awesome. Taught me a lot about music and was one of the nicest people you could ever meet. And it was probably 10 years later, I actually got a chance to go back and talk with him, and thank him for imparting the music into my skull. And because I was quite a bit older at this point in time, I'm in my 20s, and he sort of gave a little bit of a complaint. The complaint was, that he has to pretty much keep hidden away from everybody else because the church looked down on him because he was gay. And he's no longer with us because of the AIDS that happens. That was in the 90s. That was raging through stuff. And I remember sitting down talking with him and just realizing that here you got this guy that's welcome in, but because he has a different lifestyle than most people call normal, that he was put down upon and sort of kept quiet. But this guy's talent was amazing. I mean, he used to run the choir, just and nobody could have told you outside of like some of the adults that were there that this guy was gay. And I will tell you, he taught me so much about music that it's mind-boggling, the things that I retain just because of his teaching. But hey, churches are weird. Well, that's all I gotta say. I don't know if that means anything or not. Doesn't matter. Pit Staffy boxer mix. Ooh, love it. Love a Pit Staffy boxer mix. All right, let's do it.
Yes, that's correct.
And what does that?
Pacer is the federal system, Judge. It's not the state system. Pacer ECF is the federal system.
Mhm.
But
Okay, so that is something not available in the state court then, Ms. Gillette? Because like I said,
Correct.
40 years, I've never heard of that.
eFlex is our filing portal, and Odyssey is the one that's available for the Kansas Judicial.
Oh, so they're using Odyssey
okay.
too.
I'm only familiar with Pacer and ECF because I was a federal attorney for a while, and I have worked in many federal cases. And so I have access to Pacer and ECF, and I use it frequently to double check federal cases on defendants that have pending cases in both courts.
All right, thank you. So did you understand that, Mr. Kelly? We use a different system than the Pacer. Sounds like our system is similar to it, but we call it, it's the Odyssey symbol, Ms. Gillette, is that right? It's equivalent
Yeah,
to Odyssey?
it's called Odyssey, but it's through the Kansas Judicial Branch.
Okay, so now,
I love that, Texas Jules. That's perfect. My wife would lose her mind if I put something like that up there. She would, and she's completely like Second Amendment. So don't get me wrong on that. Even though she's liberal as all get out, she would lose her mind. Just so you know, I would love, and that's the kind of person I am. I would put those kinds of things out there. But I mean, she loses her mind whenever she sees a Trump sign in someone's yard. And early on in our marriage, whenever she wanted to start like posting up signs and stuff like that, bumper stickers and that kind of crap, I was like, no, we're not doing that. I mean, I laid down the law. I was like, no, we're not doing that, because I don't want to be driving in your car and have someone mistake me for a liberal. And she said, well, that's good, because I don't want to be riding in your car and somebody mistake me for a conservative. So no, we laid down those laws kind of early on. But I do like that doormat. That's pretty awesome. She'd hate my place. No, and that's the thing, is because you could name a big dog Jesus and have him protect your home. I could. I know, I love Judge Webster. Judge Webster reminds me, just her look reminds me of something like from Harry Potter, that she would be like really, really bad, but she's actually really good. No, I mean, and there's been people that are just like, it's like, how can you stand being around like such a liberal woman? I'm like, you have to be there. It's one of those things where we can joke about certain things, and there's also topics we just don't talk about. And she'll have her friends that want to get talk liberal stuff, and then I have my friends that well, we don't talk about anything except for drinking, music, and sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of stuff. Early in from the tug and making. Oh, we've got some good stuff for you too. And howdy, East Texas Cowboy. Yeah, East Texas Cowboy is good people. He's good people. And this judge is awesome.
does that help you any, Mr. Kelly?
We'll check into that. I work 9 to sometimes 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm unable to actually go to the courthouse and file in person. But I do have quite a few papers that I do need to file in this matter.
Okay, well, those do not have to be filed in person because of the system we have.
I love how Squishy puts up here. Note to your future self, don't wait until the night before your motion hearing to do so and copy the prosecutor. Exactly.
That sounds like it's familiar with or consistent with the PACER. You don't have to be in person to file, and you can file it at different times. So once you gain familiarity with that
All right,
system,
Tammy, you
it'll
have a
probably
good one.
serve your
See you
purposes.
soon.
I do see you filed one.
Oh, and tomorrow morning, I plan on having a show with Mo in the Deep End. It'll be over here tomorrow, so make sure you come by tomorrow morning. You're a good man for having patience with a liberal wife. I can't imagine she's gone too radical. No, what's funny is because I like to tease her because her grandmother and her mother were both not only daughters of the American Revolution, but they're also daughters of the Confederacy. And she's able to join those little groups, but she just refuses. I'm like, that would be so awesome. You could say you're part of DAR and part of the DAC. And she was just like, she hates it. You hear about the bust in Arizona? She is, oh no, I haven't heard about it. Is there some busts out? I love boobs. They're awesome. Hey Valor, how you doing?
One document.
Yes, and also
It just says, but sir, it just says motion to dismiss, lack of evidence, KSA 22-3437, parenthesis 3, and KSA 22-3402, parenthesis 3, parenthesis 4. So I don't have those statutes open in front of me. I don't have them memorized. What are those in reference to?
well, the first one was in reference to the fact that we had started proceedings and I had not received drug lab. One of those statutes state that the drug lab has to be in 21 days or 20 days before proceedings start. I'm not exactly familiar with the second one at hand, but you stated at that time that you were going to make a determination on that and send me a letter, and I never received anything on that at all.
All right, so I need to review that, it sounds like, and sooner rather than later. And I see the state has filed subpoenas. And it looks like that's about all that's happened.
Who has been filed? Who has been given subpoenas for the state?
Well, I can tell you pretty quickly here. Looks like the state has subpoenaed Deputy Fisher.
Okay.
And any evidence he has. Okay, that's one. It looks like they have subpoenaed Emma Tursky from the KBI.
Okay, wonderful.
So she looks like she has probably done some lab work in that. And you're still wanting a trial, is that right?
That is correct.
And you still wish to waive your right to counsel and represent yourself?
I am going to be
That's always a bad idea.
Be my own counsel. That is correct.
Well, and will you be ready to go on this Wednesday if we go?
No, I would be ready for a motion hearing on Wednesday. But I feel due to the due process violations that we need to make some determinations on some of those.
Well, Mr. Kelly, Miss Gillette is prosecuting in Elk County today. She serves Elk and Greenwood. Miss Gillette, Would you be available if I
Ooh.
saved this till the end of the docket to take up that motion? Or will you be tied up with other responsibilities?
Judge, I have a hearing now that Judge Lee's waiting on me for that was supposed to start at 10. And then I have a trial at 11. And so for today, I have availability. I'm not done with court this afternoon until 4:30. That's when I am available. And then I have time for motions sometime tomorrow. I'm with you, gonna be most of the day tomorrow.
Let's look at tomorrow. Missy, it looks like, do we have all morning open tomorrow?
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
First appearances. I don't know, does that give you enough time, Ms. Gillette, to be ready sometime tomorrow? Morning, would that work for you, like around 11-ish?
This guy
I
looks
could do something
frustrated as all
tomorrow
get
around
out.
11, Judge.
Or it looks like, again,
Was there a
Missy,
a bus
we
in New
have
Mexico this
3:30
week?
open.
Yeah, 3:30 is open too.
In fact, basically probably 3:30. I don't really want to set anything much before that in case our first appearances run over. So what time sounds best to you, Ms. Gillette, for the motion hearing?
Whichever's best for the court, Judge. I'll make it work.
All right, Mr. Kelly, do you have a preference whether we do morning or afternoon
Jill
tomorrow?
Gillette with the bangs. Look at those
Morning would be
things.
better for me, so I could still make my work. Also, I'm requesting more discovery. I did not get the analytical page of the drug lab, only the primary. And so I don't have any of the
That's not true.
numbers as far as potency or anything of that. So I would like it. And then also
You want to know an interesting story? And this is truth. You now as much as you say never believe what you see on the internet, Abraham Lincoln, did you know that the fax machine, that the fax was created before the telephone? Amazing but true. Look it up. If you don't believe me, you'll look it up and you'll go, oh my gosh, he's so correct. The fax was created before the telephone. The guy in the horse has one heck of a story to tell there. Oh, he's telling somebody, I'm telling you.
requesting more footage from the officer's dash cam. I believe that there was a third view, a third camera that I have not received. And so in order to better prepare my case, I really need those two pieces of discovery.
All right, well, generally they turn over everything they have, but Ms. Gillette, if you want to double check and see if there's anything else that you don't have, that you haven't been able to give him. And
Your Honor, request for discovery.
Oh, Maria, what we're watching some solve set stuff, and we're watching a little, and I do have a letter coming up here in a little bit. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss that. Welcome, Marion. Wonderful to see you from the great state of Canada. I'm just kidding. From Canada. Welcome. Hey, how's it going, Melody? Good to see you. Jim, what's up? What's the guy up with the guy in the middle? Well, he's talking to himself is what he's doing. That's what's going on.
You're supposed to be made in writing, and when you represent yourself, you run the risk of knowing what you need to file and not file. I mean,
Well, and you know, I watch these kinds of things because you're going to hear these same kind of arguments coming out of, and people may just go, well, you're crazy, but you're going to hear the same kind of arguments coming out of this anti what the hell's group, because they're all lawyered up. You know that, right? They're smarter than the lawyers. They've got this down.
I probably am going to file a response and ask that his motion to dismiss be set aside as too vague.
I agree with that.
It's their responsibility to set out the reasons why they believe something should be dismissed,
Yeah.
and his motion literally just lists 2 statutes and doesn't have any argument or facts. And then discovery request should be sent in writing to my office. We give everything we have at the time. And he's had to come in and do requests in writing before. And I think now's not the time to gum up everybody else and trying to explain a lot of things to him. So we'll have to explain to him some of that stuff.
Ooh, that literally was Miss Bangs here, Miss Gillette. She has some hella bangs, but she has some really good arguments here. Mug raid. Oh, anyone watch The Moonshiner? There's a guy on there who keeps losing fingers, and then in wreck on racetrack broke nearly half or more of bones. Said he wouldn't walk again. He said, watch and did it. Ooh, that's no good. Mocha Mug Raid. Yeah. Whenever we see all those numbers start jumping up, I've got a letter. And this one's going to knock your socks off. It's Danielle's family. It's not Danielle's family. Stop it. His name is Lucky. You guys are so bad. That's right about you Canadian. Oh no, I love the Canadians. The Canadians. They're a wonderful group of people. Some of my good friends live in Canada, and they might have some different opinions, but I will tell you what, they're still good people.
All right, so Mr. Kelly, I would have to agree that right now, if I were to decide your motion, I would have to say it is too vague, because it is literally what I just read. You need to say what it is about what's contained in those statutes that makes it illegal. So why don't you, between now and 11 o'clock tomorrow, work on getting to Ms. Gillette in the court a more specific motion and get her that written request for discovery. And then we'll take this all up tomorrow at 11. And if we can get it resolved at 11, we will. If we can't, then we'll have to decide when we can hear more. But let's do those things. But of course, if she has those things, she'll need to get those to you.
Well, is it illegal? Because I know whenever I lived in New Mexico, you could make up to a quart. I think it was a year, as long as it was for personal consumption. Moonshine in New Mexico was legal. Have the best French fries. Don't even get me started on that stuff that I don't know what you call that. Those aren't French fries. In the United States, we got them things called freedom fries. Do you remember that, people? Come on, you have to remember that. What was that during Bush, where everybody was like, we're not calling them French fries anymore, we're going to call them freedom fries. I was like, man, I'm not playing your stuff. I was like, I'm still calling. I was dating a French speaking woman from Saint Jean, Quebec. Cesor. Is that where her name was, Cesor, or is that where she was from? Sorry.
Right. Can I, if I might say, I did request all that in a written motion back in August, and I did not receive all of the information that I asked for.
Well, all I see again in the file, and I don't know that we need to take up too much time on this with so many folks waiting, but let's look again.
Everybody's waiting. Judge Webster, she don't play. I like Judge Webster.
This is what I have in the court file, okay?
Yes.
I have a bond that you posted August 10th of 2022. I have the complaint information, that's the charging docket filed by the state August 17th, 2022, along with their probable cause affidavit to arrest. That was filed August 17th.
Steven, that's not funny. Making fun of Canada's like smacking a guy with no arms. No, he'll kick your butt. Because I mean, that's all he can do. He can't smack you back, but he will kick your butt. Who needs moonshine, New Mexico anymore? We can just buy weed at a local store located on about every block. I thought that was just in Colorado. I was amazed in Colorado. My wife and I we went to what was it, Grand Junction, for a wedding. And so we landed in, what was it, Phoenix? I believe it was Phoenix. We landed in Phoenix because we wanted to take a little bit of a road trip with my brother-in-law. He was my brother-in-law at the time. It was before he got married. So we made a little trip up through Vale. Yeah, Vale. Yeah, we made a trip up through Vale. We spent the night in Vale. We hiked the mountain because there was no snow on the ground at that time, which is really cool because people go and you can ride the lift up and then hike, or you can just hike up and then hike back down. It's really cool. But of course, they had the dispensaries on almost every damn block. It's crazy. Get the whip, Zach. In Poland, they tell Canadian jokes. Oh God, that's harsh. That's harsh, Steve. Don't worry, in Canada they tell Polish jokes too. So, and I say that being like what, 1/3 of a tenth of something Polish or something like that.
August 18th, I get a copy, it looks like, of the bond. The 10th showed you posted it, but then the 18th gave us a copy. 9/6 was, okay, there is 9/6/2022 request for discovery. Let's see what that looks like. Okay,
Oh, that's awesome, Cindy, because so is one of my longtime mods, actually one of the first mods I had on my channel, which is the Iron Rabbit. The Iron Rabbit is also in Kansas, and your little town, New Mexico, we have more dispensaries than dollar stores. Well, I can believe that, Roy. I mean, see, I worked the Permian Basin whenever I worked pipeline construction. So I was inside of like, Odessa, Midland. And then, of course, I spent a little bit of time over in Hobbs, Levington, out in El Paso, working pipeline construction. So I was all over the state. My favorite trip was to go, because I lived in Hobbs, was go from Hobbs up through Cloudcroft, come down through Alamogordo, and then drive into El Paso that way, because it was such a beautiful drive. It had like Clovis, Jow. I had a stepfather that worked in Carlsbad. He worked in the potash mines. It was pretty interesting. Well, welcome. Oh my gosh, you know what this gives you.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh yes.
Every single day. A new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of flops. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. We'll do it all over again.
I know Dorothy from Kansas. Oh yeah, go Kansas. Yeah.
who did request a bill of particulars, KBI lab results,
Something
something I can't quite make out. Oh, field test results. And said that standing,
she's in the dog.
all documents pertaining to probable cause, including only all attachments or sworn oaths, all case report files, probable cause hearing results. Another word I can't quite make out.
Mug raid.
Any and all documents pertaining to warrants and worthless warrants or warrantless.
Oh, nice. I live right across the New Mexico border at El Paso. Traffic has tripled since weed was legalized. So if you live right across the New Mexico border, I'm trying to think what was right over. Well, I mean, because you have Alamogordo, the White Sands Missile Range, it's right over there. So was it the northern side or the southern side? Southern side would be more like, what is that, Jowl, something like that? Yeah, thought you were ignoring me. I don't ignore anybody. Oh, no, it's talking about somebody else. I live just north of Dorothy's house in Liberal. Oh yeah, hit that like button on the way in. Make it feel good and dirty.
Plus once.
Right.
We need to have a serious discussion about Shizzywhiznut's habits of licking windows. He won't share the Windex for extra flavor. We must handle him accordingly. Thank you, Slug. That's true. Well, small world. I just live off 29th and Mays.
Our county charter, and I don't know what county charter that would be. Oath of office for the following people: Deputy Fisher, prosecutor, judge, clerk of courts. Bond policy numbers for following: Deputy Fisher, acting sheriff, prosecutor, clerk of courts. Void where contrary to what?
Law.
To what?
Void were prohibited by law.
Okay, by law.
Oh,
And then it
okay.
says Gregory Brian Kelly, all rights reserved without prejudice. So that, you were right, that was filed.
September 18th.
Well, it says information request for discoveries 9/6, request for trial by jury 9/6. Prosecutor's intent to proffer concerning the drugs for 9/14, transcript request 9/14. Subpoenas, return of service, transcript complete, transcript of preliminary hearing.
Don't do that, Slug, because my dog did that out in our sunroom, and I had to go out there with a steam cleaner and clean that crap up. So don't, please.
So, Ms.
All
Gillette,
right, I
this
do have
started out
something
apparently
really
as
cool to show
a
you.
felony and then went down to a misdemeanor.
Not to my knowledge.
It says
I don't believe
transcript
so.
9/22 preliminary hearing, but we wouldn't have had a preliminary hearing.
No.
There's not a preliminary hearing. It was just probably a mistype in the system, Judge.
That's what it looks
No,
like. That's what
It started as a misdemeanor, has continued as a
Cindy,
misdemeanor,
don't-
but
I'm gonna,
like I
I'm
said,
gonna
there's certain things
delete
that
that comment there.
are
Don't give
in
out your
art
address.
that are legal issues, Judge. And so those are
Don't
things
give
that
out
would
your
need to be
address.
discussed or taken up at
Okay.
another time, more time.
Okay, well, let's take up as much of that as we can tomorrow.
I deleted that comment on purpose because I don't want you giving out your address, sweetheart. Please don't do that because you'll have people harassing you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give out your address, Cindy. So just trying to protect you right there. But that's the only reason I removed your comment there. I can't step into my street and see that big statue. Oh yeah, nice.
11 a.m.
Well, what a small world. Oops. I'm just trying to make sure that you're safe there, sweetheart.
And Missy, how do you want to get the Zoom codes to him? Do you have everything you need to get those to him?
Yes, I will email it out later today.
All right, so watch for those Zoom codes, Mr. Kelly, and we will see you back here. Absent something unforeseen, 11 o'clock tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right. So I've got to show you guys something. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. You're going to like this. All right. Let me bring this thing up for you guys because this is what everybody's in chat has been talking about. Here we go.
And 15 others are now behind bars after the Justice Department announced the largest fentanyl bust in U.S. history. Attorney General Pam Bondi says roughly 11.5 kilos of fentanyl, including 3 million fentanyl pills, were seized in New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. Bondi says several members of the Sinaloa cartel, including the leader of this trafficking ring, were arrested. She alleges that man was living in Salem prior to his arrest. The DEA also seized $5 million in cash, firearms, and several kilos of meth, cocaine, and heroin. Bondi says this is just the beginning.
They are flooding our cities with a weapon of mass destruction, fentanyl. And when we catch you, like all of these individuals, if convicted, we will put you behind bars. There will be no negotiating, and we will lock you up for as long as humanly possible.
Bondi says the 3 million fentanyl pills were stamped with oxycodone, which is prescribed by doctors to relieve severe pain.
Wow.
This-
Wow, that's pretty damn awesome. They busted somebody. But we also have this one, which is it's sort of sad. Just because you got journalism degree doesn't mean you're all. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Shizzy won't share the no, I won't do that. I won't, because I don't have any. Shame on you. All right, this next one is really good. Check this out.
All right, this term of Oneida County Court is now in session with the Honorable Robert L. Bauer presiding. Please be seated. They're ready.
Christopher Walworth.
This one is pretty brutal.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, if you'd like, you're welcome to utilize that podium there, sir.
So get used to the courtroom, Judge. Sorry.
Understood. Now, this is the matter of the people against Christopher Walrath, indictment 25035, calendar for possible disposition here this morning. I do have a number of requests from local news media to cover today's proceedings. Any objection, counsel?
No objection, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
No, Your Honor.
And the court will permit the same. As I said, the matter's calendar today is it's the court's understanding that the parties may now have arrived at an agreed upon disposition. And I'll just begin by noting it's my understanding further, Mr. Fitzpatrick, that this disposition's been arrived at after you have considered the various levels of culpability of the co-defendants involved in this case, and you believe the proposed disposition is appropriate for this specific defendant's level of culpability, and further that this offer has been extended only after consultation with and having received agreement from the victim's family. Do I have that right?
You have everything correct, Your Honor.
So let me state my complete understanding of the proposal then. That is that the defendant will be pleading guilty to count 2 of the indictment that charges the felony offense of manslaughter in the first degree, and the agreed upon sentence would then be 15 years in state prison along with 5 years post-release supervision, a waiver of appeal, and mandatory state surcharges, and that would satisfy the remaining count contained in this indictment. Is that the people's understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kafruti, that's your understanding?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Walrath, is that your understanding of the proposal to resolve these charges, and is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand. Sir, do you now swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Walrath, I'm going to ask you some questions now. These are to help me decide if I can accept your plea or not. So if at any time you do not hear a question, you do not understand, or you need a moment to stop and speak further with your attorney, then you have to let me know that, okay?
Sir.
You understand by answering my questions and pleading guilty here this morning, you're giving up your right to remain silent and to not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
Have you spoken with your attorney about your case, about pleading guilty and thereby waiving your right to have a trial?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes.
Have you had enough time now to speak with your attorney about your case?
Yes.
The charge you are to plead guilty to pursuant to this agreement is count 2 of this indictment. It charges you with the felony offense of manslaughter in the first degree. That is in violation of penal law sections 125.20 subdivision 1 and also 20.00 as you are charged under an accomplice liability theory. It's alleged here that on or about the 9th day of December 2024, while you were here in the county of Oneida in the town of Marcy, you along with your co-defendants acting in concert with each other, being corrections officers, and intending to cause serious physical injury to another person, you did cause the death of that person, that being that you along with your co-defendants participated in multiple beatings of incarcerated individual Robert Brooks, which ultimately resulted in that individual's death. Do you admit that all to be true?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, did you want anything further for the elocution?
A few series of questions with the court's.
In case you're not understanding what happened, is this this correctional officer pleads guilty for a role in the beating death of an inmate at Marcy Correctional Facility. Yeah. Him and his co-defendants, he's pleading guilty, and he is going to be spending 15 years. Without a trial, he pleaded guilty to it, and he's taken his punishment for what he did, and more distraction than compass.
Permission.
You may go right ahead.
Mr. Walworth, you were assigned to work in the Arsenal area of Marcy Correctional Facility on December the 9th, 2024. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you leave your post inside of the Arsenal area on December the 9th against departmental policy and procedures upon the arrival of Robert Brooks?
Yes.
Did you and your fellow corrections officers, Nicholas Kiefer, Nicholas Anzalone, and Robert Kessler, assault Robert Brooks outside of the Arsenal on December the 9th, 2024?
Yes.
During that assault, did you put Robert Brooks in a chokehold against departmental policy and procedure?
Yes.
On December the 9th, while in the emergency room of the Marcy Correctional Facility, did you and other corrections officers assault Robert Brooks?
Yes.
During that assault, did you strike Robert Brooks about his body?
Yes.
And did you intentionally strike him in his groin?
Yes.
Ooh.
Were you aware at that time that striking an incarcerated individual in the groin is against departmental policy and procedure?
Yes.
Is it correct that you never reported the use of force that was used on Robert Brooks near the Arsenal area at Marcy Correctional?
Yes.
Is it correct that you never reported the use of force that was used on Robert Brooks in the emergency room at Marcy Correctional?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You were aware, sir, were you not, that you were required to report any and all uses of force on an incarcerated individual, whether justified or not?
Yes.
And nevertheless, you lied about the use of force used on Robert Brooks on December the 9th, 2024.
Yes.
And sir, at the emergency room, you did nothing to prevent the assault or protect Mr. Brooks. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you realize that these repeated assaults caused serious physical injury to Mr. Brooks and resulted in his death.
Yes.
Ooh.
People are satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Walrath, how then do you plead to the second count, manslaughter in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How old are you now, Mr. Walrath?
37.
And you can read and write the English language, correct?
Yes.
You're a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Do you have any physical or mental problems that could prevent you from understanding what you're doing here today?
No.
Did you consume any kind of drug, medicine, or alcohol before coming to court that could affect your understanding?
No.
You're not currently on any form of probation or parole, are you?
No.
By pleading guilty, you are giving up your right to have a jury.
No. No, I don't believe this is it. Now, I just heard about this evening. So this came in just a few hours ago. I mean, it's going to be surprised to see him as an inmate instead of just working there. Well, they won't put him in the same prison where he was where he did that.
Jury trial, do you understand that?
Yes.
At a jury trial, you would be presumed innocent and you would be entitled to the following rights: to be represented by your attorney, to confront and cross-examine witnesses presented by the government. You'd have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. You would have the right, but would not be required, to call witnesses, or you could testify on your own behalf. You would also have the right to require the government to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 people who would have to be unanimous in finding you guilty. Do you understand? You have each of these rights, and by pleading guilty here today, you're giving up each of these rights.
Yes.
You understand by pleading guilty, you're also giving up any defense you might have to these charges.
Yes.
Now, a plea of guilty is the same as a verdict of guilty rendered by a jury after a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Other than the plea and sentence agreement I spoke of earlier, has anyone made any other promises to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Did anyone threaten you or force you to plead guilty?
No.
Have you entered this plea
Maybe.
today voluntarily and of your own choice?
Yes.
Do you understand that those that are incarcerated
He might be taking it by like a man right now, but he may not be taking it like a man very long. Yeah, at least he came clean. Yeah. No, and I agree with Libby. He is taking it. Good evening, Stacy. Good to see you.
For a felony conviction, you lose their right to vote in an election until such time as they are released.
Yes.
And now lastly, sir, part of your negotiated plea does require that you waive your right to appeal. As a defendant in this court, if convicted, you have a separate and distinct right to appeal a judgment of conviction to a higher court in Rochester known as the appellate division. There you can, with your attorney and a free one if you're not afforded. You can file a brief and argue before that court that there exists some problem with your conviction here in this court. That is a right you have. It's also a right you can waive or give up, and it is being required that you waive your right to appeal on condition I give you the sentence promised to you. That means your conviction and sentence in this court will likely be final, so there's then little you can do to go back after the fact to try and change that. You will have thereby significantly limited your options for appeal in the future. Do you understand?
Yes.
Have you spoken with your attorney about waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, I have.
Do you then agree to waive your right to appeal on condition I give you the sentence promised?
Yes.
And are you doing so voluntarily?
Yes.
I'm holding up for you a document entitled Waiver of Right to Appeal. Halfway down the page, I see the signature Christopher Walrath. Did you sign this document here after reading through it and reviewing it with your attorney?
Yes.
Based upon the defendant's statements and his demeanor here in court, I find a knowing voluntary plea with a factual basis. I will direct the clerk to enter the plea into the minutes of this court to adjourn sentence on this.
You know, if more guilty people acted like this and took their punishment and didn't sit there and try to be a real pain in the butt, you would see how fast the court system would clear out its docket. Jail or stay at Slug's house for a weekend. He took jail. That's good. Rochester.
July 16th.
Your Honor, it was my understanding that the people were not going to object to our request to have the sentencing take place on August 1st.
I know you did meet that vote. You don't have any objection going out there?
No, August 1st is a Friday, Judge. I don't know if council prefers August 4th, which is a Monday. And we have no objection to him remaining out, getting his affairs in order. And I've also discussed that with the family.
We appreciate that, and we would prefer the 4th.
All right, then. August 4th at 9:30 a.m. for sentencing. And you're going to remain out on the bond that you posted, Mr. Walrath, but that's going to be with some conditions attached as part of our plea agreement here. Condition 1 is you do have to meet and cooperate truthfully with the probation department as they prepare your pre-sentence investigation. Condition 2, you have to come back to the court on any date you're required to be here. As of right now, you know that's August 4th at 9:30 in the morning to be sentenced. The third condition is you must commit no offenses. There are to be no new arrests of any kind between now and the time of your sentencing. Do you understand each of those conditions?
Yes.
If you fail to abide by one or more of those conditions, I would not be bound by the sentence agreement. I would not permit you to withdraw your plea, and I would be authorized to sentence you to any term my law permits. You understand that?
Yes.
You can speak with probation on your way out regarding setting up your PSI. I'll see you back here August 4th. Anything further from either side?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, counsel.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Crazy. Yeah, that guy's gonna be hating life. He's gonna be hating life for quite some time. But we have a really good one for you tonight. This is a nice short one, so I hope that you enjoy this next one coming up. Judge Washington, let's see what she
All right,
said.
the 14B District Court is back in session. The court will recall the Hatton matters. On them.
This is Mark Friend on behalf of the township. Sorry, Dobby.
This is Milk Friend Davi Lieba on behalf of Mr. Haddon. Mr. Haddon, could you state your name, sir?
My name is David Head.
Thank you. Thank you. We're here for sentencing in the case of 19-S00069 and for a review in the case of 18W006271A.
Yes, Your Honor, I've reviewed the PSR. We have no modifications.
I hope not.
However, Mr. Haddon has indicated to me that he would prefer to serve the 27 remaining jail days rather than do the probation. And that is what we are requesting today.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also had an opportunity to review the PSIR, and I'm asking you to follow the recommendations within that report to 9 months of probation.
Nah.
Mr. Hatton, what would you like to say, sir?
I would like to know, she talking about 9 months? How, like 9 months? Why will y'all give me 9 months and I just can't pay it off?
This is not a case where you just pay off something, sir. This is a criminal matter. You were drinking and driving.
I wasn't drinking and driving. I have no alcohol in my system.
Okay, sorry. Right. You were using drugs, cocaine, and driving.
Oh,
And
no, I wasn't. I wasn't using
glad to
cocaine.
that. I'm not going to argue with you, sir.
I wasn't using the cocaines. That's
So
true.
what is he getting 66 days credit for?
I believe that would be time previously served.
Sir, where?
I'm checking on the report. I believe that would have been in the Washington County Jail.
Right.
Doug
Can I see counsel in the
Raid.
breakout room and probation?
Doug
please?
Raiders. We've got a good letter for you.
I'm gonna talk to you when I come back.
Mr. Hatton, I'm going to let you go speak with your attorney some more.
Yeah.
This
You
matter
can.
may be- State of Michigan versus David Hatton, 19S00069. It's for the people.
Assistant Public Defender Davi Lebo for Mr. Haddon. Mr. Haddon, could you state your name, sir?
Yes, my name is David Head.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Lebo, where are we with this, please?
Your Honor, I did discuss with Mr. Haddon that the court would not be prepared to accept the 9-month sentencing recommendation would be sentencing Mr. Haddon to a period of 12 months probation or 93 days in jail for 29 days.
We got
days.
something
Mr. Haddon
coming for you
indicated to me that
guys.
he would.
It
Mr.
was
Haddon has
66 days. So how did y'all take it from 23 days? Let me say from 66 to 23 days when y'all go y'all little on y'all break, bro.
Mr. Haddon, we discussed this in the breakout room. Do you need to
That's what I'm
discuss this?
saying, but I know I had 66 days in. Y'all been saying that 3 court dates, bro.
Mr. Hatton, anything else you want to say today, sir, before I send you?
Yes, I would like to know why I can't get my 66 days.
All right. Anything from the people?
Judge, I would just ask the court to sentence the defendant to 12 months of probation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hatton, so what did he decide? What did he want to do?
The jail time.
Okay, then you will do
Yeah,
the jail
not
time.
enough yet.
Okay, all right.
It is the sentence of this court, sir, that if you are choosing to not do any probation in this particular case while you were using cocaine and driving, and don't interrupt me again, or you will get contempt of court on top of the
Don't
jail
want to
time.
look at his
Are we
ear.
clear?
Stop it.
Mr. Hatton, are we clear?
You just told me don't say nothing.
All right, you're
Smart
working
ass.
on contempt. Answer my question.
Yes, I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
All right. It's the sentence of this court that you serve 93 days in the Washington County Jail. Credit for a total of
Sounds hot, Polly.
29 days.
No, that's his ear. Yes, it's his ear. Smart ass. I love it.
The balance of that time is to be suspended, to be
Hear?
served.
Yes, I hear you. Man, he needs to pick that stuff out of there. Stop.
Are you turning yourself in today, sir?
I'm gonna turn myself in tomorrow.
Defendant to turn himself in by 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh,
And sir, you don't get credit for time that you were doing on separate cases. You were in custody on other cases. You weren't even arraigned on this case. You're getting credit for the 1 day that you were arrested on this case.
Oh, I've
And you
got a
got
good one
45
for you
days from
guys
Judge
tonight.
Pope on other matters.
Stick around.
6 matters, and the felony case that you were on no bond back at that time.
I do have a letter to Volmit tonight. It's gonna be good.
You don't get
I
credit for
had did like 5 months before I went to Detroit.
There you go, arguing again and interrupting me again. You did no time on this case, sir, other than the one day that you did. You will serve
All
the
right, so
balance
now
of
you
that
went
time.
from 22, so now you're going from 22 days to 1 day now?
I just told you that I was giving you a total of 29 days credit, sir.
Okay, so 29 days. Okay, so I gotta have myself turned in by 8 o'clock. I got you.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.
Oh, make sure you go show some love to old Squishy Gardner. It's good stuff that they have. But this next thing that I've got for you, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I hope you're ready for it. It is time. Oh, yeah, it is. It is that time that I've got a letter. And I hope Megan's watching because this one might interest Megan quite a bit.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
I'll give you a little preface to this one. Vomit can't stop sending me emails. So this one is for you, Vomit. An open letter to Vomit. Why you suck at this? Well, dear Michael. Oh boy, you pathetic little man. You've really done it now. You came slinking into my inbox with your usual whine. I don't think this one's any better than the first. You're suing over opinions, assertions, and observations. I don't see many allegations of misstatements of facts in this amended lawsuit. Help me out. Oh, so you didn't like what Shockett filed whenever he amended his lawsuit? You didn't like the phrasing? You didn't like that he got your little buddy there, little Dickie, to be included in this lawsuit because of what he has to say? Well, I'll help you out. Help you out, Michael. You drooping, low-energy disaster. You are so far out of your league that even Paint Chip is looking at you like saying, bro, seriously, get it together. And let me tell you something. When you're lower on the food chain than Paint Chip, you're not just circling the drain. You are the mold at the bottom of the septic tank. Let me say this to you slowly, since reading comprehension clearly isn't your strong suit. Do you even read the documents attached? Or do you just blindly forward them to me like a malfunctioning office printer, hoping someone else will explain them to you? If you want help? Okay, here's the help. Start doing your own research. Let me help you out, since apparently your independent journalistic brain is stuck on the loading screen. Best for me to be blunt. You can't even independently parse a single court document without running to others for hand-holding. You're like a toddler holding up a math test, wide-eyed, begging for someone else to fill out the answers because numbers are hard. These aren't vague opinions like, I think your hairstyle sucks, although frankly it probably does. These are factual assertions presented to third parties as truth. And under defamation law, I know, big legal word, but hang tight. This is where liability comes roaring in because you, Michael, you don't know that because you don't care to know. You just want to play along at being important because I know what's really eating you. It's not the complaint. It's not the case. It's not even the fact you can't comprehend basic defamation law. It's jealousy. Pure, sweating, panting, chest-thumping jealousy. You are jealous of Megan Fox. You are jealous of anyone with more subscribers, more views, more credibility, more testosterone, more spine, more relevance, and more brain cells. And don't think we don't notice the vibes between you and Paint Chip lurking in the dark corners of the internet like a pair of half-cooked sausages, whispering to each other late at night, "Did you see the new violence, bro?" Yeah, we know how it goes. The two of you huddled together on an old crusty couch in mommy's basement, scrolling through court PDFs with one hand and handling business with the other, while some grainy pixelated gilf prawn plays on mute in the background. Let's be real, Michael. You and Paint Chip have so little testosterone between you that you couldn't generate a decent flex off, even if you mainline protein shakes and rubbed each other's bellies together like low-rent sumo wrestlers. You're the type to scroll Twitter with one hand and cry into the other, mumbling, "Why does nobody respect me?" You're the type to declare, "I'm an independent journalist," while still asking mommy for grocery money and hoping she folds your laundry before bedtime. You think those are just opinions. You need to crack open a law book, or hell, even Wikipedia, and look up what defamation per se means. Spoiler: it covers things like accusing someone of heinous crimes and professional misconduct where the damage is presumed under the law. Let me guess, you were too busy doom scrolling Substack stats or bragging about getting famous or whispering to yet another woman about your so-called big exposés while dodging your own mess of a personal life. To actually do your research. I get it, Michael. You like the sound of your own keyboard going clickety-clack, clickety-clack, even when it's typing out things that are dead wrong. You've got a whole arsenal of wrong, too. I mean, you were publicly calling out for misusing private medical records, running half-baked stories without fact-checking, exploiting vulnerable parents, and chasing attention like a sugar-hyped toddler at a Chuck E. Cheese. But sure, tell me again how you can't find any factual allegations in a complaint that literally lays out dozens of them, over 50-plus pages of them. Hell, you didn't even know who George was, son. You keep pretending you're some crusading journalist, Michael, but you're not. You're a gossip peddler with a Wi-Fi connection and a habit of forwarding garbage you didn't vet, then sitting back waiting for someone else to untangle your bullshit. Let me tell you something blunt, Michael. If you need help understanding why those statements are legally actionable, you shouldn't be reporting on lawsuits. If you can't spot the difference between "I don't like you" and "you're a child predator," you shouldn't be commenting on defamation cases. And if you're relying on others to explain basic legal distinctions, you're not an independent journalist. You're a stooge dressing up in a title to make yourself feel important. Tell me, Michael, why did Megan stop interacting with you? Why did she, and let's be blunt, leave you behind in the dust? Why are you sitting there seething, typing bitter emails about her rising audience, her credibility, her alliances, while you stew in the sludge of your own fading relevance? Every time you whine about Megan Fox, it's like watching the nerdy kid in high school moan, "I don't get why the Barbie girl won't text me back." Well, here's why. Because she grew past you, Michael. She saw the evil, toxic mess, the obsessive rants, the inflated ego, the self-aggrandizing journalist stick, like you're like you wear a GIMP costume. Well, and she just walked away. You're a footnote in a chapter she closed. That's a cautionary tale about what happens when someone confuses rage and noise for talent and impact. She won't respond to half-melted man boys jostling each other on the couch over legal filings they can't even spell check. You are a vampire for attention. You're a parasite on other people's talent. A jealous wreck of a man who can't stand that people you dismiss as grifters and bad journalists are succeeding where you keep failing. And you know what's funny? For all your ranting and raving, for all your shriveled up fake bravado, you still keep coming to others, to me, to explain things for you. Michael, you're not a wolf. You're not a shark. You're not even a junkyard dog. You're a sad little yipping chihuahua desperate for attention, trying to sound tough while everyone laughs at your ridiculous squeaks while you're trying to hump their leg. So here's what you and Paint should do. Put the prawn away, pull up your pants, wipe the Dorito dust off your fingers, and maybe, just maybe, log off, go touch some grass. You don't just suck at reading lawsuits. You don't just suck at research, fact-checking, or handling sensitive information responsibly, because as it stands, your biggest achievement this year is forwarding emails you didn't understand and looking like a clown in front of people who didn't even bother clowning you until now. So here's the tip. Not just the whole thing, just the tip. That's all you get. Next time you want to throw around comics like help me out, maybe start by helping yourself. Read the damn material that you're forwarding. Learn what the words mean. Learn what the law says. Until then, you're just proving one thing over and over again. You are the guy who wants everyone else to do the thinking for him while you slap your name on the end. And with all the sarcasm you earn, Shizzywhiznut, the short bus Velcro shoes wearing artard who just took your so-called journalism career, lit it on fire, and danced around in those ashes.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
I thought you guys might like that. Wow, Shizzy, just another great letter. Well, you know, it's one of those things when shouldn't he just hire a lawyer? All it proves his ineptitude. Yes, he does. He constantly will prove his ineptitude. He cannot help it. And it's one of those things where, you know, if you're going to sit there and you're going to email me and ask me, well, what do you think about this? It doesn't matter what I think about it. Why don't you report on it? Why don't you talk about it? Do your damn job. Read the rulings, read the pleadings, and then make up your own damn mind what they mean. You don't have to come, you know, pissing up my leg to ask me, because my opinion ain't shite. It's just these fools, insufferable fools. They just can't help it. They just can't help it. I don't know what it is. Tempest Soul, yeah, that's a tough one. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. On to a little bit more soft sit stuff. Now I do have a letter that I was working on for Laura Owens, but it's gonna have to wait. It's only like halfway there. It's only halfway there. There's so much going on. Rolling the floor, laughing my ace off. So it's all meant to be some fun.
Like we have to talk every time we have some business with him. No, this right.
What happened?
He got,
Fleischer.
they recommended thinking for a change, anger management. State has offered a 1-year deferred with the appropriate conditions that go with that. They would also help him find shelter during this time. His father is here present. His father came from overseas just to help address what was going on. They visited yesterday.
Nice. Where's Dad?
Dad is right here at the front right
Come up,
here.
Dad. Come on. He's on bond for reckless driving. We ordered him, hey, no more reckless driving, please. Just think about the community. Don't endanger the community. Picks up an evading in a motor vehicle. 3rd-degree felony, looking at 2 to 10 in the penitentiary. He gets out. Then he picks up in October a terroristic threat, gets out again, and then now picks up another terroristic threat the same month. So it's what we ask you to do. It goes in one ear and it goes out the other ear. And the problem is now you're stuck because the bonds are high.
Look at this. He has got like the purple pimp suit on. I love it. Judge Fleischer, just like he's pimping the purple suit right there. No bow tie. He was wearing a black shirt, black tie. He's got the purple pimp suit on. I love it. I think that BBB is a solo practitioner because no one else would hire him or work with him? No, usually whenever someone's a solo practitioner, because it takes it, and court pimp judge. Oh yeah, love this judge. No, and I will tell you, this is my opinion on Bubbles doing what he's doing. Okay, in most law firms, and I'm being dead serious here on this, or maybe I'm being a complete idiot. Most law firms don't appreciate an attorney that doesn't show up to work. Okay, because most attorneys, unlike some of them, have a very large caseload. Okay, because let me put it to you this way: as someone that works for an attorney, okay, there is a constant amount of work that has to be done. Okay, you only have so many hours in a day to be able to get that work done. Okay, and I'll just use this as an example. The attorney I worked for at 8:30 in the morning is going over pleadings, and there's times that she won't finish up until 9, 10 o'clock at night. I've seen her do it before because she has to prepare for a case that she has the next day. And that's one of possibly 15 to 20, possibly 30 cases that she's working on at that any given point in time. She might work on something for, 0.5 hours. She might work on something for 6 hours because she has to have a motion or pleading, or she might be working out a settlement deal, or she might be in mediation for an entire day, a 12-hour mediation. Imagine that, just to get something settled. And then the work doesn't stop there, because after you've completed that mediation and you've got all the stuff worked out, you have to file the pleading for the judge to read. So it's a constant amount of work that is being done. I don't think Bubbles has that kind of work ethic. He doesn't have that skill level, that kind of devotion to his practice of law. If he did, there would be and my wife even said this. She goes, there is no way I would waste my time ever coming on live stream. She would be awesome. The amount of legal knowledge that she has would blow your mind away. But she goes, I just don't have time for something like that. I don't have time to waste on showing up on a stream for any amount of time, because that amount of time I could have had a pleading done, and she can give courses on those kinds of 7-hour depot. 7-hour depot is nothing. Imagine doing, long depots. I don't think that Bubbles has the, how do you put that, testicular fortitude to actually be able to handle anything longer than 2 minutes. But that, that comes from practice. Hey, how's it going, Jay? How you doing? Good to see you. So whenever I say this, and in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know what his work schedule is. But everything that I've seen, his work product is garbage. It's absolute shite. I mean, if you're filing basically a cut, copy, paste of the same pleading that you filed like the week before or the day before, just trying to get something pushed through, and then you spend 5 hours on a damn live stream, that doesn't sound to me like you have a very good law practice. Just saying. Doesn't sound to me like it's very going good. During the depots that he kept asking for a break or going dark at times, is 15-minute routine. This judge would not put up with BBB's BS. Well, I don't think too many judges are. Can't imagine him being able to hold down a normal 9-to-5 job. But see, that's the thing, Ali God. As an attorney, it's not a 9-to-5 job. See, that's what people don't understand. Ask any attorney if they work 9 to 5, and they will laugh at you. Yeah, if you want to make bare minimum as an attorney, sure, work that 9 to 5 job. But as an attorney, you're an attorney like 24/7. And you will be working late into the night because the product has to be done. You have a court deposition that you have to prepare for. You have motions that have to be filed. Whenever attorneys take vacation, there's a reason why attorneys drink and do a lot of drugs. Not all of them, but it's one of the highest problems. And with attorneys is doing drugs and drinking, is because they have to shut that down. They have to shut it off. You know, it's a lot of because you're dealing with somebody else's life. It's not yours. You're dealing with somebody else's life. You're making decisions that are going to be best for them. It's a vocation, not a 9 to 5. Exactly. Court records that someone showed Bubbles were lackluster, not too many of his favor. Yeah, well, I've shown that too. It does happen. I can't imagine BBB being in front of Judge Simpson. I can't imagine BBB being in front of any judge, because most judges are not going to tolerate his shenanigans.
Your dad is here, which is great because it shows support. But the problem is, if I let you out, are you going to pick up a 5th case?
No, sir.
Well, I know you're going to say no. You said that the first 4 times.
Go, Judge.
The only way I really get to know you is how you look on paper, because that tells me who you are. When you tell me something, for me now, it goes in one ear and it goes out the other, because I know you're going to tell me what I want to hear. It's little bunnies jumping in the woods, gumdrops and rainbows. But when you get out there, you turn into a different person. And it's not fair to everybody else who complies and the potential danger to everyone. We're not asking for much. I'm just asking to be safe. Don't do anything. Think before you act. I've repeatedly told you that. So I get that you feel like, and you look but are we really supposed to keep doing this? So who is the first terroristic threat?
The first terroristic threat was brother.
Who's the second one?
Second one is a manager at a gym.
Here's what I would like to do. I would like to have him TRAS to see how we go forward, because I just don't know. A TRAS is an
Texas Risk Assessment System. Yeah, you misunderstood me, Shizzy. I wasn't clear enough. I didn't think you could even do a simple job. Oh, yeah. Well, no. My mistake. Absolutely. No, I don't think you could work even a 10 to 2 job at this point. So yeah, I agree with you, Alligat. This judge is no shenanigans. No, this judge actually has a lot of humor, and I have seen that where he is very gracious to people. I mean, think about this. 4 times he's been in front of this judge. 4 times he's told him, stop, think before you act, stop being a dumbass, stop acting a fool, stop attacking people, stop making threats to them. And for 4 times, this guy has done the same damn thing.
evaluation where we have clinicians talk to him and see, they ask him all kinds of questions about his life, about his history, any drug history, living situation they ask, and they determine that, okay, this person may need treatment. This person may not need as intensive in treatment to where he can be on the outside and doing it. I don't know how to go forward, but it scares me because I don't want him to pick up a 5th case. I don't know what he's doing in life. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
How do I know that? You're headed nowhere quick. And we don't want to see that. We don't want you to end up as a statistic. Sure.
I've been trying very, very hard to get a startup in sales, because I want to do sales. That's the best way for me to go without having a degree, because I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so doing independent contractor work, it allows me to be able to make money, on my own time, and then invest into what I want to invest into on the side.
This is so bad. This is so bad. And I mean, I feel for this kid. He sounds way too lenient after the second time. I'd not let it happen again. But that's very true. But you see, here's the misconception that people get. Oh, I want to do things on my own time. I want to invest on the side. I can do sales. But that's not hitting the core problem of the issue that you might be having. Because what happens whenever someone says, "Hey, I'm not interested, leave me alone," or they're having a bad day and they're just like they tell you to F off. So sales plus entrepreneur, drug dealer. Well, no, not saying he's a drug dealer. I buy my shit. I'll roll you. Good salesman. Yeah, exactly. Well, and see that's the problem that he's running into, is because to do something like that, here's a perfect example. I had a friend of mine, a neighbor, that said, "Hey, can you build something for me?" Which I did. I went and got the metal, welded it all up. It was a rack for I'm not going to say the company, but it was a well-known company that does some sporting events. And what they had on there was some bike racks and things of that sort. Well, somebody backed into it and damaged it, also damaged the van that it was in. He came to me a year later after this had been damaged and said, "Hey, can you build me another one? I need you to build me something that's a little bit stronger. And these are the additions I want to have." It was for his wife's business. And I said, "Absolutely, not a problem." And he goes, "I want you to charge me top dollar for this because insurance is going to pay for it. And I know my insurance rates are going to raise. It wasn't our fault, but their insurance is paying for it. I want you to charge me out the wazoo for this." So I charged, I believe it was like 10 times the amount. Now, he also hooked me up with saying, "Hey, if you're interested in building some more of these things, I can hook you up with a lot of people that are in the same line of work that we do. We go to these shows and everybody loves this piece of equipment that you built. If you'll build more of them, I'll send the business your way." Now, at the time, I couldn't do it because where I was working at would have been basically in a carport. And I said, "There's no way I can possibly do that." Now, if I would have been on the criminal mind, I would have said, "Oh, absolutely, send them all my way." And then I would have had late deliveries and all those kinds of things. Which you have to think about these kinds of things whenever you're trying to operate your own business. And this is something that I don't think this kid understands. To operate your own business, you have to take into consideration, how much does the material cost? How much time do I have to build these? How much time do I have to spend doing this? It's not a work at your own schedule, because whenever you've got that business coming in, you have to pay attention to your own time schedule, your well-being. I mean, if the steel prices go up, you're going to have to raise your prices. So if you've already promised all this work ahead of time, I mean, there's just so much involved in this. And just, "Oh, I want to go out and work on my own time." That's not how it works. You're working on other people's time. Although, the, and this is what people don't understand about your running your own business. You might be running your own business, but your customer is your boss. And that's what he's failing to miss. He's missing this one particular thing that's not clicking with him, is your customer now becomes your boss. They're telling you, "I want to have it by this time." And there's just a lot in there. Like this judge, he plays daddy way too much. It's actually quite lenient after his rants. He's a fun watch though. Yeah.
Because I don't believe.
How long does it take to steal the material? No, I don't ever have to steal for the material that I'm building. Yeah. Like here's a perfect example. Over what was it, last month? Last month? I think it was last month. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. I was at my brother-in-law's and I started building a table and I said, "Hey, I'm going to take this back and I'm going to finish it up whenever I get home." And luckily, because we were supposed to be back, I'm supposed to be in Jacksonville next week. Yeah, next week. And I said, I'll bring it back down whenever I come. Luckily, father-in-law came up, stepfather-in-law, whatever, came up, and I just sent it back with him. So he got it earlier, and he was just like head over heels, like, "This is awesome. I love the way that you put it together. I love all the aspects of it." It took me, I don't know, an hour to put this thing together. And it's solid, but it's not something that I would like mass market or sell. But you just got to know your time. He's going to start a record label and clothing line, signature scent. Yeah, I imagine so.
Believe that working a job for the rest of my life is a way for me to live my life. And I agree with you that I keep on catching cases, but it's not because I want to start trouble. It's just because I have too much time on my hands, and the things that I want to get started, I haven't gotten started yet because I procrastinate a lot. I know that I do that, but it's not because I can't control myself. I have a lot of self-control, and if you let me
Apparently
be
not.
free, it's
Terroristic
not.
threat says
You're in
the
jail again.
otherwise. A terroristic threat says that when you get angry, you pop off and you have no self-control and you start throwing out threats, right? Without that says no self-control.
Well, I would say, Judge, on that one, just this is at a gym, but there was also a basketball game that had just happened. So it's important. And the reason why I brought up the evidence, because, there's two sides of the story. And so I just needed to verify.
I always, right.
Right.
There's
We
always
understand that.
two
I just want him to
sides.
know that, we're advocating for him as well, that we are doing the investigation. And I worry that if he just signs to get out, that it puts him in a cyclical sort of situation. One, and two, that he's only doing it just because he doesn't want to get out. And that's why I'm addressing the bonds.
I'm not going to take it.
And that's why I was addressing the bonds, because and this is not even a guarantee that father is going to pay the bonds. This is just to.
Let me ask you this. If we let you out, where are you going to go? Where do you have to go?
My mom, she'll let me stay back at the house. I know that if she doesn't let me stay at the house, then I'll find.
That's funny. Well, wouldn't you like to know? That is true. How the hell do I have only 9,000 followers? Great mind, brilliant wit. Sorry for the spontaneous suck up. No, in that you have to understand the reason why I only have 9,000 followers is because that's the way that it goes. That's just the way that it goes. My goal for the end of the year is to hit 10,000. Somebody said I need to set my goals higher and push for like that 50,000, 100,000. Do you realize that doing YouTube, how much time that it can take to build those kinds of things? That takes more time in a day than I actually have. I do have a regular 9-to-5 job. So that takes me away from a lot of things that I want to cover, a lot of things that I want to do. So that's why I only have 9,000 followers. It's growing and I'm happy with the growth, and I get wonderful people like you to come in and enjoy this. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe, because that's what they tell you to tell everyone, because most people go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about hitting that thing." But that's how it goes. Well, baby steps. And also I like it. I do like that is a good, steady, and slow growth, because the mistakes that I made whenever I first started streaming are mistakes that I don't want to repeat again. And I think that and this is just for me personally, if I was to grow really fast too soon, I don't know how I'd be able to handle making those mistakes or missteps and things like that. Like, and I'll use this example. If my first YouTube video that I put out, if I would have had 100,000 subs, could you imagine some of the screw ups that I had whenever I first started streaming with 100,000 subs, how bad that would look? See, now I don't have to worry about that, because now you guys will look back and go, what exactly did you screw up on? Well, it's all there. I like this dad. His dad just shakes his head. No, wouldn't you like to know? Well, because you aren't sharing his channel link. That could be true. That could be true. I just, I'm not the most brilliant. I just like to have fun on here. And you know, and it is about having a little bit of fun and meeting some really cool people. Dad is very non-committal. Oh no, I would say his dad being there says a lot. Like he's concerned for his son. And that's good to see that his dad is there and you know knows that he's probably been I would almost guarantee that the things that this judge is saying to him are the same things that his dad told him.
On a place to stay, but
I'm not letting you out to the street. They'll eat you alive.
well, I was
The only
staying my-
way that I would even-
I have family on the outside.
But if they're not going to take you,
It's not
It's a
fair to
problem.
have me in jail because I had a place to stay and now I don't because I was in jail. Being in jail is not the place for me. The only way to elevate my
Gave
life.
you 4 different chances, Mr. Jenkins.
I wasn't in jail before those chances. I've been in jail now, so I understand my consequences more. That's what jail is for, to learn your lesson.
You live across the country or
I've been living in Europe for the last 6 months. So I took an assignment in Europe.
Who else? Is there anyone here that's willing to take Mr. Jenkins in?
Well, he's crossing the bridge with everyone in the family.
He's burned it. God dog it. You know, it's never good to burn a bridge because you never know when you need to cross it. When you act like an a-hole to everybody and you shut everybody out, this is the exact example of why you don't do that. I would consider if you had a place to go, because I'm telling you now, I'm not letting you out to the street. If you have nowhere to go, then that's set you
Find a place
up.
to go, but I can't find a place to go if I'm in jail. I have nobody to call in jail. Nobody answers my phone when I'm in jail. So if I stay in jail, that's gonna be my life forever. It's gonna be a kid that had a chance in life to a kid that has a life in jail now because of a few mistakes that I know not to make anymore.
Let this be a lesson.
Yeah, judge is laying it down. Let it be a lesson. Stop screwing up. You know that's the thing. If you spend a night in jail and you come out and you go, well, hell, I'm just going to do it again. No, you spend your time in jail and you go, yeah, I don't want to end up here again. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can not to end up in this hellhole again ever. That's what you want to do.
If I'm able to go through the back judge and find some kind of social program, and work that way and provide evidence to the court that they can house him.
My parents will help me find a homeless shelter. They'll help me find a homeless shelter to stay at. Like they did that before.
I just don't want to be in.
Really?
The parents helped him find a homeless shelter. How are you going to advance if you're in a homeless shelter? That's not where you want to be. I can see why he doesn't want to let him out to the streets yet. Because he doesn't understand going to a homeless shelter is not where you want to end up. No, where you want to end up is saying, hey, I haven't burned all my bridges. I haven't dotted all those I's and crossed all those T's. I want to make change. And in doing so, I think having structure in front of me, having parents that I haven't burned them because I'm not stealing from them. I'm listening to what they say. They tell me I need to be home at a certain time. I'm there. I know I'm a 21, 23, 25-year-old man, but I'm living under the roof. They're making the rules. They're making sure that I show up to work on time. It doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It matters that you show up, you do the work. And this is something this kid hasn't understood. Because, hey, make your own way. If it ends you up in jail, then that's where you're going to end up being. You've been given those chances.
He burned every bridge. He has I have 6 boys, and he's number 5. His auntie, his grandmother, I make sure that everybody's fed, so.
Yeah. See?
I'm
I've stayed in the homeless shelter before and I've done well in the homeless shelter. I was able to take care of myself and function in the homeless shelter, and they helped me, they helped me find the homeless shelter. So I can find a place to live, but if I'm in jail, my life gets worse and
I
I have.
know you're desperate to get out, but I don't understand what could have been so bad that you burned so many bridges with damn near everybody in your family.
Yes.
What the hell happened, man?
I started.
You know?
just reflect on that. Don't answer.
I mean,
his attorney is so smart. Just reflect on that. Don't answer. Just reflect on it. Just shut up. You're not doing yourself good. Don't do the crime. You can't do the time. Yeah. It's really, and I say this with all the love in my heart. My little brother is a lot like this. He just, he's one of those that wants to say, well, no, it's not my fault. It's like, no, you stealing at a young age, breaking into people's cars and houses is what got you thrown in jail. You got out on probation. They gave you a chance. And what did you do? What did you do with that opportunity you were given? I'll tell you what my little brother did for his opportunity. Once he was given that opportunity, nothing. He sat around, bought a bunch of weed, smoked his weed, and continued to try to find work. And then he would find work, he'd be good at it. He's really good at working. But because he would just continue to smoke the weed, he would be unmotivated to do his job at not all the time, but just whenever he started hitting the weed, started hitting the drink, he didn't want to do the work. And in doing so, got himself fired from multiple jobs because of it. So that's where you have to kick in that self-restraint and say, yeah, nobody's going to do this for me but me. Till they met the real world. Yeah, that is very true. That happens quite a bit. I'm impressed the dad so far. He's come back across the pond to support his son, but he isn't babysitting him or giving him any easy outs. Yeah, well, because the kids burned his entire family. He probably stayed with his auntie, his granny, his dad, his mom, and he's burned them all. Because they're trying to look out for him and do what's best, but at some point you have to let the little birdie fly.
Do that evaluation, it'd be great. He was evaluated before and he was medicated, but he refused to take his medication.
Oh,
that's big.
Yeah.
The problem is, Mr. Jenkins, is that we get a lot of people here that they're supposed to take medication, right? And they start to take it and things go great. The problem is that things do go great when you take your medication. And a lot of people say, you know what? I don't need this anymore. I'm doing great. And when they stop taking it, everything turns right back into shiza. That's the problem. When you're taking your medication, things go great. You must continue to take it.
Can I say something? The medication.
Not talk about the cases.
I know, I'm talking about the medications. The medications, they were making me drowsy. So I was in process of getting on new medications that were uppers and not downers because at the time I didn't have a car. So I was going through a lot more shit. So it was the same position I'm going to be in now. So I know that's not a good argument. But finding a medication that has me up instead of down so that I can function and find a job and make money. Because really, it's not, but my life is bad and I'm going through what I'm going through because I'm not where I want to be in life. I don't have any money and I can't take care of myself because of that. So that causes a lot of mental illness. That's what you can call it, mental illness, but it's really just going through life and having stress going through life. That's the problem I'm dealing with, not having it.
Son, that's life. Life is stress. It's always going to be stressful. Like if the medication, because you've got some mentally thing going on there, get back on the meds. Get back on the meds. Don't suffer.
Any money. So once I have money, you'll see a completely change. It'll be like I'm on the best medication ever once I have money.
Do you think that me just letting you out, poof, you're gonna get money?
I'm not saying that, but I can show you by going to the therapies and the classes that I'm doing better, and then I'm trying to elevate my life to a point where I can take care of myself and I don't have to depend on anybody in my family. And then you'll see that poof change once I'm in a position where I can take care of myself. I can promise you that you'll see that poof change as soon as I can take care of myself because I have money now.
Assessment for Monday.
Great. I'd like to do a TRAS to see how we go forward because I don't know. But I'm going to tell you now, I'm not letting you just out to the street.
Yeah.
So do you mind?
I will research through the program.
No. But also perhaps if you can try to like make a good faith effort to reach out to the family, see if anyone, I'm happy to talk to them too, to try to help convince to see if they'll.
We speak extensively, but yes, sir.
So we're talking to have them set the Job Corps. So there's a Job Corps at St. Marcus.
Oh. No. Yeah, and Tammy, that is absolutely right. It does not solve the problems. Money is not going to solve the issues. You know, here's an interesting little factoid about my family. My parents thought stupidly for 13 years that location would, whenever things started going bad in the relationship between my mother and father, I don't know whose bright idea it was, but buy a new car or move to another house or something of that sort would solve the issue. They would change location instead of realizing that there was serious issues going on in their marital relationship. So, they tried to correct these over 13 years by moving to different locations, and that didn't help. That didn't take care of the core issues, is that they would argue and fight and snipe at each other constantly. And what could have just been easily just let's hook up and have a good time could have ended there, but it didn't. And next thing you know, they're married and the crazy comes out, and moving locations did not help the situation. No matter how much money my father made, it was never going to be enough because it was going to be a constant burden on him. Luckily after the marriage ended, my father found somebody that was compatible with until he passed away. They continued to be supportive of each other and married. Had 2 more kids. No issues there. So, and no, what was it all my mother's fault? Sure, maybe, possibly, but it was just that between them, they were incompatible, and Job Corps is definitely not the answer. No, because then you're just putting them in with another group of people where they're going to end up not taking their meds and having problems.
That he qualifies for because he doesn't have any felony. So he can go to Job Corps, learn a trade, and stay up there if he's willing to do that.
Problem is that is he going to do it?
Right.
Yes, sir. I will do it though. I'm very
You're in
willing.
jail. Everybody will say anything just to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get out there, though, what's really going to happen?
I don't have a car, so I need to find a way to this appointment. So any job right now is a good opportunity for me because I have to save up to get a car to take care of myself.
Mr. Jenkins, where is Job Corps? Is it just in San Marcos? There's nothing here?
That's some other ones, but that's the closest one.
Because what I'm thinking is that we could probably do something.
No. See, here's the thing. Melody is putting someone like this in the military. It wouldn't work. And I say that from somebody that was in the military. Whenever you put people that have this kind of attitude in the military, they will end up in disciplinary proceedings. They'll end up with a dishonorable discharge. They'll find ways to try to skate around the system. And you don't want to have people like this in the military, because then bad things happen. That's not a good choice. Now, they could have probably sent him to military school as a young child. That might have corrected some of the behavioral problems. But if he seriously has a mental issue, if there's something broken up there in the mind, no amount of that's going to help. Yeah, it's bad.
To try to resolve these cases and perhaps make that a condition that he does Job Corps.
Is it possible that the court could order that as a, well, I'll discuss it whenever we.
Right. I would say that we do it as part of perhaps some kind of global agreement where, first have him TRAS, let's see what they say. And then perhaps we make it a condition that he does Job Corps. If it's in San Marcos, I have an issue because I don't know how we can supervise it, right? But if there's something here, that would be great. There's something closer.
Robert Ferg, or somebody wants to get T-Rex.
You try that?
Not a cluster.
First have them TRAS'd.
Sure.
See what they say. Come back on Monday or probably Tuesday or Wednesday. This is because we got to give it a couple days.
You can drug test too? A drug test.
He'll be clean now.
Well, they don't hand you a weapon right off the bat. So that's not how that works. You have to have respect to be in the military, right? And that's very true. So I mean, what would happen is if he went in the military within the first couple of weeks, he would probably be crying to get out, because military, you have to remember, it's another government institution. And if he can't handle life in prison, he's definitely not going to be able to handle life in the military. Because you're serving 4, 6, 8 years that you've basically volunteered for it. I mean, you can leave at any point in time. You'll have to take a discharge, and it will probably be a dishonorable discharge. And that is definitely, you don't want to have a dishonorable discharge on your military record if you can at all avoid it. Now, I've known people that have gotten out for medical issues. What is it? Section 8, something like that. Section 9, I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But yeah, they wouldn't give them a weapon right off the bat. So yeah, just kidding. Came in with what the hell's when Shizzy started to cover the case, and I stayed for the show. It's still watch Megan and Shizzy's till you daddy. Well, thank you so much. Okay, I'll catch the rest in the morning. Yeah, and I'll be setting up a new stream and this will probably be the last one I watch tonight.
He's been in custody.
However, Mr. Jenkins was asking me about a time served. And so he has 2 months.
Oh, so this is the new hearing. The TRAS has been done. Now it's time to wheel and deal a plea bargain.
Months of credit since he's been in, I guess, totaling the previous attorney that was on the case and then my time with him. And then
Time served just to get out, right?
Well, time
yes or
served
no?
because
Yes,
Just to get out. Just to get out.
I don't just want to get out. I feel like I learned my lesson when I committed the crime at first. I didn't know that I would be charged with anything. I didn't know that I would be sitting in jail, but now I know that I have consequences for my actions. I can go about my life differently. I feel like I learned my lesson.
So why not probation? Probation, if you complete it.
Because I feel like,
Deferred is a type of probation that if you complete it, you don't have a conviction.
Because I feel like probation, you're not really free. A lot of people go on probation and they're back in jail because.
The only reason they would be in jail is because they don't comply. We don't put people in jail for shits and giggles, man. It's, you have rules that you have to follow. When you follow rules, when you follow the rules and when you do what you're supposed to do, good things happen. And the good thing with you is if you complete it and they end up not as convictions, you may be able to seal it in the future so that no one sees it. Well, the general public at least, but you just pleading guilty, you'll now end up with a third conviction. And they're dangerous convictions, right? They're terroristic threats. What do you think future employers, people who want to give you a job, people who want you to stay at a shelter, they're not going to let you stay with these kind of priors, man. You know, every time you pick up a case, it's going to hurt you in a certain way. It may not be now, it may not be tomorrow, it may be in 2 years when you least expect it and when you really need whatever you're trying to do.
The reason I want to get time served is because I don't believe I'll be picking up another case. I know how to not pick up case. I know how to not break the law.
If I were to let you out today, would you do the deferred?
I would, but I'm asking to have a
Have the
different
same
option.
thing. If I give you the deferred today, I'm going to let you out. If you take the time served, you will also get out.
Yes.
Either way, you will get out today.
Okay. If I had a decision between the two, I would take time served.
What?
You wouldn't want the probation to try to keep it off your record?
No,
I
sir.
would take the probation. Oh, geez.
Huh?
Love
He's
match.
probably got enough back time regardless. So, how much back time does he got? Please.
He has 69 days, or Blake Jenkins.
Boom.
Yeah, 69.
Being short-sighted and not considering your future can really hurt you, Mr. Chairman.
I am considering my
Let him
future.
finish, brother. Please, Judge.
Oh, jeez. He doesn't understand what he's asking for here, okay? And the judge is trying to be so helpful without giving him any legal advice. The judge is telling him, if you do time served, all right, you get out with your time served, you still have a conviction. If you take the deferment, all you have is probation, and you have a chance of having that expunged, and you won't have to worry about ever having a problem finding a job. But if you've got a conviction, you have to let your employer know about that. But he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be beholden to the government. Too young to fully understand. No, he understands the consequences. The judge is explaining it to him. He's not yet 23. No, and his attorneys explained it to him also, but he's decided he wants to just have it as time served because he thinks that he is going to be out and about and having a good time. Let's see. Your ex-BL got a general discharge when he sold drugs to an undercover. Somehow he got a discharge and the felony buried, no longer has a record. How the F does that work? Okay, a general discharge is not a dishonorable discharge. Okay, so what it is whenever you get a general discharge, you can actually have that transferred into an honorable discharge after a period of time. That's how it works. Okay. It's if you get a dishonorable discharge, get a court martial, those kinds of things, you'll get a dishonorable discharge, then what happens is you've got it hey, no problem, Glory. You'll end up with that permanently on your record as a dishonorable discharge. That's how those work. This young man won't be accepted into the Job Corps if he won't take his meds and when he gets to feeling better. If he's on probation, he's just worried that he can't stay sober or stay clean or stay on his meds. Because if you're on probation, you have to report. If you're on probation, it's just like being in jail. And now he would not have as much probation. The judge could, say you got 12 months probation. A year is compared to a lifetime of having that on your record. And the judge is telling me this is very short-sighted.
I am considering my future. I know exactly what I'm gonna do when I get out. I have a whole entire plan. I already told you that I want to do solar sales, and to get a job in solar sales, I'm pretty sure that these convictions won't hurt my chances of getting on a team. So that's why I'm not too worried about the convictions. And I know that I'm not gonna pick up any more convictions.
I'm okay offering him the deferred and letting him out,
I know,
giving him a PR bond so he can try to complete the deferreds. I'm okay giving you a PR bond today to give you the chance to finish or try to do this probation to keep it off your record. I will
but not
give it
time served.
either way. If you want the time served, you can have it. It's on you. But once you get that conviction, there's no turning back.
I understand.
No, he
I
does.
mean, I'll be let out today if I do the time served.
I'm going to let you out either way. But I'm telling you, it's a bad idea to do the time served. And I think that it's a better idea for you to do the deferred adjudication, probation, to try to keep it off your record.
I'd rather do the time served, so.
Because he doesn't want to be answering to
I mean,
anybody.
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink, as the saying goes.
Just for the record, the reason why I said it's a deferred, because the probation was interpreted as one way for him. I told him about the deferred, the super way, we called it supervision, in order to get his record potentially sealed and potential benefits that could happen with that, perhaps an early termination if he was going along the great path and following whatever had been recommended to him by the TRES.
Yep.
Talking about his future and everything associated with having now 2 convictions on his record if he takes the time served, what that implicates and everything like that. So we had that discussion, but I just wanted to reiterate, he wanted to ask me some questions.
Would the people in the terroristic threats, were they just random people? Say it again?
It was at a gym.
At a gym. Okay, so both are just random.
The first terroristic threat was any member of the brother. So it's a class A. Second one.
Which one are you dismissing
Class A.
against the household? Okay.
It's not.
You need to understand that if you continue with the same course of conduct within a certain amount of time, they can also hit you with a felony. You could potentially be looking at 2 to 10 in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
So I will do whatever you want to do, Mr. Jenkins. If you want to do the probation, which I think what you should do to try to keep it off your record, I'll take off all the fees. You won't owe any money. Is it 2 classes?
Yes, sir.
Just 2 classes? And that's it.
For a year?
Yep.
I'll take you off early.
Oh,
cool. If you do well, after some time, show me that you're not using any dope or alcohol, I'll take you off early.
Time served.
Okay. I don't agree with what you're doing today, but far be it for me to really tell you what to do. The only other thing that I'm going to try to counsel you on is it really, really sucks that you have somehow alienated everyone that cares for you in your life. Your father, when he was here the other day, there was no one that was willing to take you in. That really sucks. If I were you, I would try to do anything and everything possible to try to mend those relationships, because on your own, at your age, with no education, no job, no money, there's only so far you can get in life. That's why you have parents. That's why you have family to kind of help you out when you're down. But when you alienate them by continually doing things to mess up the relationship, it's not good. When you get out, try to mend those relationships so that they can somehow be back in your life and use them as a positive, role model, or try to get some help.
Well,
Tell
I'll
them
be
that you
showing
need
you here in
help
a minute.
so that they will help you or somehow, but mend that relationship, because it's going to kill you. The last thing we want to see is you going out there becoming so desperate. You do something that lands you with a felony, or you're looking at 25 to life. Really, life's too short to spend. You now stand charged with 2 counts of terroristic threat. The agreement that you have worked out is they're going to dismiss one of those terroristic threats in exchange for your plea on the other one. The agreement is 180 days in jail, credit for the 71 days that 69, right?
One case was 71, the other one was 69.
Do you want me to put, is this against the advice of counsel, or what do you think?
Well, Judge, I just wanted to put that we had, I can suggest, I told him how this would, one thing I did want to put, for you to explain to him is this cannot be expunged off his record. He had a question about that. I told him it could not be.
I've been continually telling you, when you plead guilty, it goes on your record and it will be a conviction for life. You can never take this off. You can never buyer's remorse saying, hey, you know what, I want to return this because I don't like it. It's not targeted. You sure you want to do this?
Sorry. Yeah, it was against our recommendation.
I am willing to let you out today to do the probation to keep it off your record.
Your month of Social Security on
No.
Right.
Yep.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to test on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal once you accept this agreement. There's no turning around and fighting this. You also need to understand that from now on, any new cases that you pick up, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Also, you have no one in this life that is going to bond you out. So when you get out there, if you make a boneheaded decision, you will be stuck like Chuck, like you see now. So make good decisions. If you want anything, come back. I have Shatori here, who's amazing that we can get you resources, place to stay, food to eat, a tablet, a cell phone. If you want something, come back and we can help you out. You understand?
Yeah.
Good luck. Or how do you plead, Mr. Jenkins? Guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow the agreement. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
Crazy. Okay. Mr. Avalar, come on up. We'll have you sign.
all right, here we go. Live car chase. Looks like they've already pulled him over. Oh, yeah. I got the popo on him. Yeah, it's so hard to watch on that. I mean, the silliness of it. But you want to have some fun? You want to have a little bit of fun? What we're going to do is I'm going to send all you fine people over to go see one of my good friends I haven't seen in forever. But give me a second. I'm going to get it all set up because they're watching this live also. Give me a second. Set screen. Let me get the right one. Screen right here. There we go. Give me a second. Let me get this thing set up for you guys. Let me do this. Live. And let me see if I can send them over there. I'll send you guys over to go watch one of my good friends over there. And you can give them a hard time. Yep, we're gonna send you all over to Junior's and make sure that you throw lots of bacon in the chat for her. Show her some love, give her some love whenever you get there. What show? Gotta go back. Rerun Crew. That kid will regret his choice for the rest of his life. Absolutely. I want you to go give Wessica, go give Junior some love. All right, and we're out of here. It won't be long. You'll get to see the rest of it. See you soon in the morning. Peace, y'all.
Let's get started. Oh, that's real good.